Following on from my last video demonstrating how easy it is to culture various creatures in the garden, I've just had a visitor to one of the containers, and I thought I'd share this with you. Just get a little bit closer. You'll see it's a newt. I think it just ate something. You can also maybe appreciate the amount of life in the container. There's bloodworms which are wriggling around, and you may be able to make out the Daphnia. Another addition which I didn't mention last time are snails. In this particular case, ramhorns snails, which I've added to the containers, which provides a good environment. They break down organic matter, and this is then used by the various creatures. The container is literally teeming with life. You can make out the Daphnia quite clearly, bunched up at the edge here. You may be able to make out the freshwater shrimp. They're skimming across the surface, and there's quite a number of those as well. They make tasty morsels for the fish. Here you can see a large red ramhorn snail which they've added, and they're also breeding quite nicely. They're not for food for the fish, but they do, as I mentioned, create a good environment, break down organic matter, which is then eaten and creates bacteria which is eaten by the various creatures. So I have caught some creatures and I'm packing them into the glass as I did last time. And it just gives you an idea of quantities and what we've caught. Lots of bloodworms and actually some mosquito larvae. Interestingly, the mosquito larvae are not mainly in the larger pots, but in some smaller pots. I would imagine they don't do so well in the larger pots where there's competition, and perhaps they're actually eaten. I'm just trying to see if there are any shrimp. Can't see any at the moment. A little bit more detail. Lots of wriggly bloodworms, lots of Daphnia, and there's the shrimp in the front in the corner, gliding across the view. Lovely tasty morsels for the fish. There's one in the center, and if we go to the top we'll see the mosquito larvae. Of course they breathe air rather than from the water, so they have to come to the surface. That doesn't apply to the other creatures, but this will all be fed to the fish. Very nutritious.